Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email us, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. Today we're discussing a lovely model launched back in 2000 as Chopard decided to take its manufacturer movement collection into the sports watch world. This is the Chopard L.U.C Sport, or L.U.C Sport, and it was also known as the Sport 2000 back in its day, and you'll see exactly why that is in a moment. But this example in my hand was sold in 2001. It is a refined 40mm diameter steel sports watch with a svelte 10mm profile, 48.1mm from lug tip to lug tip with a 20mm spacing between the lugs, and a Chopard model specific vulcanized rubber strap. Throw it on the wrist. Wears nicely. Now the lugs are pretty strong. You can see they're vertical, they're fairly sheer, they've got a lot of presence. So even though this is not a huge watch, it does wear fairly large. And I'm going to recommend it for a wrist of my size or larger, so 16 centimeters circumference or up. That said, regardless of the size of your wrist, it is slim, it will fit easily underneath a dress cuff. Let's take a look at that down the barrel angle that I always consider definitive. Like I said, the strap, an interesting piece, very thick, it should last a long time. On the bottom, you have a lot of interesting statistics and prescriptions regarding the specification, handling limits, and conditions that are appropriate for the use of this strap, which is something I have never seen before on a strap, but it's good to know it's there. The buckle, fairly simple. You can see it's made by Brogioli. It's got their signature on it. And then it's attached to the strap using hex screws, which is an unusual system. In general, you only see those used on bracelet removable links, but hey, it makes it harder to separate the buckle from the strap, and it is Chopard branded with differential finish, including both satin and polish. You can also see that the bridge is slightly elevated, so when the strap is in the pin, it'll actually sink into the buckle a bit. There's a bit of countersink so that it doesn't just stack up and get super thick on the wrist. Taking a look at the case, very simple. Sheer in profile and polished. The lugs are vertical and narrow when viewed end-on, and there's satin finish on the top. The bezel is slightly stepped in from the case band to create a little trick of the eye that visually thins the watch. And you can see that there's a thin band of satin finish on top of the case, and then that the outer edge of the bezel is polished, but the primary facet, this domed profile, is actually circular satinated. You can see that there's some small evidence of handling here. This is a pre-owned watch of almost a quarter century, so I'm just trying to be as honest as I can. We have the L.U.C Chopard logo on the crown. It is a screw-down crown to achieve that 100-meter water resistance. A surprisingly detailed dial. You can see we have these faceted, alternately satinated and polished dart-style indices, that the form of the index is mirrored in the Dauphine profile of the hands, the index of the second hand, and then the cut of the center dial. You can also see that there's an azurage or concentric pattern underneath the hour track, and a Rejo outboard that features luminescence, as well as fractions of seconds and a scale against which you can read minutes. Let's do a Lume shot right here. You can see that all three hands are loomed, and there is plenty of lume on this dial. You can also see that there's a very small L.U.C Chopard logo on the counterweight. You can see that logo right there. A couple of notes about setting modes. The movement, as you can clearly see, does not feature hacking seconds, but it does feature a quick set date function, so you can cycle the date as need be. Now, the dial gives away part of the game. It is an automatic chronometer certified movement. It is a more utilitarian version of the 196. This is the 496. Same power reserve and a lot of the same specs. Twin stacked barrels with a 4 hertz beat rate, 5 position adjustment, a COSC chronometer certification, 31 pivot jewels, a very slim profile, manufacturer status at Chopard. You can see why this is often called the L.U.C Chopard 2000 or Sport 2000. Now, on the back, we have the 100-meter notation. We also have individual numbering, and at least they did a better job of trying to equate 100 meters to feet. So nice to see that there. Also, you can see that we've got a number of finishing flourishes. They're not quite the Geneva seal level of the 196, but we still have handsome bevels, circular Côte de Genève, polished screw heads, satin finished wheels, and engine turning on the base plate. This is actually something I would compare quite favorably to the finishing you'll find on a modern Audemars Piguet, Journe, or Jaeger-LeCoultre. So it is still high horology, even if it isn't quite Geneva seal. A great watch and a great value from an August manufacturer. This is the Chopard L.U.C Chopard Sport, sometimes known as the L.U.C 2000 or Sport 2000. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.